Sarah had a choice: steal the money and no one would know, or stay honest and lose everything. Sarah worked as an accountant at Morrison and Associates, a mid-sized firm in the city. She'd been there for 8 years, reliable, quiet, good at her job. Nothing special, but steady. Her desk was by the window on the 3rd floor. Every morning she'd arrive early, make her coffee, and start reviewing the numbers. She liked numbers. They made sense. They didn't lie. But people did. Her boss, Mr. Harrison, had been skimming money from client accounts for 2 years. Small amounts. A few hundred here, 1,000 there. Amounts small enough that most clients wouldn't notice, but large enough that over time, it added up to a lot. Sarah discovered it by accident. She was reconciling accounts one evening, working late because everyone else had gone home. A discrepancy caught her eye. Then another. She pulled up older files. The pattern was clear. Mr. Harrison was stealing. Sarah sat there staring at her computer screen as the office got dark around her. She should report this. That was the right thing to do. But Mr. Harrison was powerful. He had connections. He could ruin her career with one phone call, and she needed this job. Her mother was sick. The medical bills were piling up. She was already behind on rent. If she reported him, he'd know it was her. She'd be fired, blacklisted. She'd never work in accounting again. The smart thing, the safe thing, was to close the file, delete her search history, and pretend she'd never seen anything. That's what anyone would do, right? Sarah went home that night and couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the clients. Mrs. Chin, the elderly woman who trusted the firm with her retirement savings. The young couple saving for their first house. The small business owner barely making it through each month. They trusted Morrison and Associates. They trusted that their money was safe. And it wasn't. The next morning, Sarah did something that surprised even herself. She made copies of everything, printed reports, saved files to a USB drive, documented every discrepancy. Then she walked into Mr. Harrison's office. "I found something," she said, placing the folder on his desk. Mr. Harrison looked up from his phone. "What's this?" "Discrepancies in the client accounts, going back 2 years." His face changed. Just slightly, but Sarah saw it. "I'm sure it's just accounting errors," he said smoothly. "I'll look into it." "I don't think they're errors, sir." Silence. Mr. Harrison leaned back in his chair, studying her. "Sarah, you've been here a long time. You're a good employee. Let's not make problems where there aren't any. The clients are being stolen from? That's a serious accusation?" His voice was cold now. "Do you have proof?" "Yes." "I see." He stood up, walked to the window. "You know, Sarah, these things can be complicated. Sometimes what looks like theft is just creative accounting." He turned to face her. "If you pursue this, you'll destroy your career. I have friends at every firm in this city. No one will hire you. You'll never work in this field again." He paused. "And I know about your mother, the medical bills. That's expensive. You need this job." Sarah felt her hands shaking. He was right. She did need this job. Desperately. "Or," Mr. Harrison continued, his voice softer now, "you could forget you saw anything. I could even give you a raise. A significant one. You've earned it. You're loyal, discreet. Those are valuable qualities." He was offering her a bribe and a threat, all in the same breath. Sarah looked at the folder on his desk, then at Mr. Harrison, then out the window at the city below. "I've already sent copies to the ethics board," she said quietly, "and the police." The color drained from his face. "You what?" "This morning, before I came to your office, I wanted to give you a chance to turn yourself in first, but I knew you wouldn't." "You've just destroyed your career for nothing," he said, his voice shaking with rage. "Maybe," Sarah said, "but at least I can sleep tonight." The next few months were exactly as hard as Mr. Harrison had promised. He was arrested. The firm collapsed. Everyone lost their jobs. Not just Sarah, but 30 other employees who'd done nothing wrong. Sarah couldn't find work. Mr. Harrison's friends made sure of that. Every interview ended the same way. "We'll call you." They never did. Her savings ran out. She had to move to a smaller apartment. She took a job as a bookkeeper at a grocery store. Minimum wage, nowhere near what she'd been making. Minimum wage, nowhere near what she'd been making. Her mother's medical bills kept coming. Some nights, Sarah wondered if she'd made the right choice. She'd done the right thing, and it had cost her everything. One afternoon, 6 months after everything fell apart, Sarah was restocking shelves at the grocery store when an elderly woman approached her. "Excuse me, are you Sarah? Sarah Chin?" Sarah turned. She didn't recognize the woman. "I'm Margaret Chin. You saved my mother's retirement fund." Sarah remembered. Mrs. Chin, one of the clients whose money Mr. Harrison had stolen. "The police recovered most of the money," Margaret continued, her eyes filling with tears. "Because of you. Because you reported it. My mother. She's 86. That money was all she had. If you hadn't spoken up," she handed Sarah an envelope. She couldn't finish. "My mother wanted you to have this." Inside was a check and a handwritten note. "Thank you for your honesty. It cost you everything, but it saved me." The check was generous, but that wasn't what made Sarah cry. It was the note. The knowledge that her choice had mattered, that someone's life was better, because she'd stayed honest when it would have been so easy to look away. 2 weeks later, Sarah got a call from a firm she'd never heard of, Hammond and Associates, a small but growing company across town. "We've been following your case," the woman on the phone said. "We're looking for someone with integrity. That's rare. Would you be interested in interviewing for a senior accountant position?" Sarah took the job. The pay was better than her old position. The company was honest, really honest, not just in name. They'd built their reputation on it. A year later, Sarah was promoted to head of accounting. Her mother's health improved. The bills were manageable now. And every night, Sarah slept well. She'd lost everything for telling the truth. But slowly, quietly, she'd built something better. A life she didn't have to lie about, a career built on something solid, a reputation that meant something real. Years later, when Sarah trained new accountants, she'd tell them about that night she discovered the theft, about the choice she'd faced, about how hard the right path had been. Integrity costs something, she'd say. Sometimes it costs everything, but the price of losing it is higher, because you can rebuild a career. You can recover from financial loss. But once you compromise your integrity, once you choose comfort over conscience, you become someone you don't recognize in the mirror. And that person is much harder to get back. Sarah learned that honesty isn't just about following rules. It's about being able to live with yourself. It's about building a life on something that doesn't crumble when tested. It's about being the kind of person who can sleep at night. And that, it turned out, was worth more than any amount of money her boss could have offered.